As far as I'm aware, this is the first time that all Chopin's works are presented in one major series. We're going to have not only the solo works, but all the songs, all the chamber music, and all the works for piano and orchestra. So it's rather an exciting series from that point of view, because it will give the chance to listeners to hear many works which are not often heard. The whole series will take place in 3 weeks. We start on the 10th of February, and there will be 4 concerts that week. Then there will be another week in March, and finally in the first week of June. There will be 12 concerts altogether. We shall hear, for instance, 2 polonaises which he wrote at the age of 7. And it's remarkable in the sense that if you listen to these pieces, although they're relatively simple, of course, if you compare them to his mature works, nevertheless, the essence of his music is already there. I would say the seeds of individuality are already there. And this is remarkable. You know, we think of Mozart as perhaps the greatest musical prodigy of all time, but I wouldn't say that Chopin is far behind. Chopin's music has so many qualities. It is brilliant, it is sensitive, it is elegant, charming. It is always very polished, very refined. Above all, though, I think it is full of poetry. For me, he's one of the greatest musical poets. The problem, though, is we think we know his music because he's so popular. Every amateur plays some preludes and the Fantasie Impromptu and so on. But there is so much else that we do not hear at all. The variations, for instance. There is a piece called Souvenir de Paganini, which was Chopin's response after hearing the great violinist. There is a first sonata with a lot of original features. For instance, the slow movement is in 5 beats in a bar, which is unprecedented. And there is a valse mélancolique, which was fairly recently discovered, which has become one of my favorite pieces. Very full of nostalgia, but very beautiful. And then there are some very unusual pieces. For instance, Galop Marquis. When I first looked at it, I thought, this cannot possibly be by Chopin, until I found out that it's a musical joke. It's a very short piece in 2 parts, Marquis and Deep. Marquis and Deep were Georges Sand's dogs. And they must have been very lively dogs as well. And Chopin really depicts that wonderfully well. But it's completely different from all his other works. And I think that those that come along to the series would be very surprised by the quality of his unfamiliar works. He was a very radical composer, especially harmonically. He influenced probably more composers than any other, and composers that don't normally come to mind. For instance, Bruckner, Debussy, Ravel, Scriabin, Prokofiev, Rachmaninoff. In fact, I consider that without Chopin, music would probably have taken a different course. Of course, his melodic invention is second to none. There is such a naturalness of expression. And when you hear something, you cannot imagine that it could proceed in any different way. And of course, it's his melodies that people love. But there is so much more to that. I repeat that the harmonic element is very important and very extraordinary. We're going to hear a prelude, which is a reconstruction from some sketches by the American musicologist Jeffrey Kalberg, and it's been subtitled Devil's Trill because the left hand has trills from beginning to end, and it's quite a remarkable piece. There is nothing like it. It's slightly related to the prelude from the 24 preludes in the same key, but with a totally different flavor because of these left-hand trills. We're also going to hear a premiere, possibly a world premiere, of the Don Giovanni variations for piano and orchestra, but arranged for piano and string quartet. And this arrangement was made by Stephen Scotchmer, a good friend of mine, and I think it would be rather splendid to hear it. We're going to hear all the songs sung by Ivona Sobotka, and I'm very delighted that we're going to have this distinguished singer. I felt it was very important to have someone to sing in her native language. The songs are not often heard, incidentally, but to hear them all is even more rare. Then we're going to hear all the cello works, or cello and piano, and I'm delighted that we're going to have Daniel Weiss, my duo partner for many years, and member of my trio, the Rosamunde Trio, and he will play the three works for piano and for cello and piano. We're going to have the Polish piano trio, who will play the trio in G minor, and there are some one work for two pianos and one for piano duet, which will be played by the Nettle and Markham duo. Finally, we're going to have the Silesian Quartet, who with me will play all the works for piano and orchestra, and I'm particularly pleased to have this collaboration. Of course, this series is a big marathon for me. Each week I would have to do 3 concerts, totally different programs. In the final week there will be 4 concerts in 4 days. Perhaps the biggest challenge of my life, but I look forward to it.